Hi guys, Luetin here, and as you know right now there's a big sale happening on Steam, and I've taken some time to run down some ideas of games that I think are good suggestions and really good value for money. The sale is a bit adaptable. Some are going out of the offers quicker than others. Some are on for the full time till the 2nd of December, others are running out literally today, and I've highlighted those. Some were on better deals. I actually wanted to post this video yesterday, but because of my fantastic Windows 8.1 upgrade issues, I wasn't able to provide that for you, so instead it's today, and unfortunately we've missed on one of the really good offers that was happening there. In fact, actually there was a couple, so that's very disappointing, and it's why I didn't want to upgrade, because I didn't want to have those issues. So anyway, let's get into it. And so initially I've got 3 games that I think are for the money must-haves, and then we get into the rest, and the rest are in no particular order. They're all good games, they're all good value for money. So let's start off with my must-haves. There's 3 of those, and the first is Faster Than Light. Faster Than Light is 50% off. In the UK it's £3.49, and by the way, I should say for the US prices that I've given here, I've literally just worked it out at the current exchange rate for me. So obviously I haven't been onto the Steam store in the US, so I'm literally just estimating what that price is going to be. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be something vaguely around that price. So it's £3.49 in the UK for Fast and Light. In the US it's going to be something like $5.50. Fast and Light is an awesome game. It's just it's this kind of space RPG story. It's an indie game, and it's just brutally difficult. It's been well known for being a very hard game. There's examples of my playthroughs of it on Luetin Gaming, and it's just punishing, but it's so exciting and it's so involving, and it really challenges you, and that's why it's an absolutely fantastic game. You gotta have it. It's just one of those games which needs to be owned. The next one up is Pixel Junk Shooter. Now, Pixel Junk is part of Q Games. They make really awesome games. I've said this many times. I love Pixel Junk games. Pixel Junk Shooter, in my opinion, is just one of the most enjoyable games that I played. It's so relaxing and also sort of challenging and fun at the same time. I just love everything about this game. It's really great. It's 75% off right now. That's £1.74. It's going to work out about $2.70 in the US. So another great game there. Definitely go and check that out. Next up, 90% off, DEFCON Everybody Dies. I've played this on the channel before, and it's actually a really depressing game. It's a game of nuclear warfare, and the idea is to obviously try and inflict more damage than your opponent. But of course, the little accolade to that is that nobody ever wins, because everybody ends up dying for one reason or another. So it's a really weird game, but it's just I don't know, I just feel like it's one of those games that you need to have, and for the price of 59 pence, or in the US it's about $1, I don't really, that's less than a chocolate bar, so how can you not have that game, basically? Okay, next up, these are 2 games which originally had better prices, but because those sales have ended, they're still on sale, but not as good, and it's up to you whether you get it now or decide to wait, because you never know when there's going to be a better sale. It could be tomorrow, it could be in 3 months, you don't know. But basically right now, Alien Isolation and The Long Dark both have got 25% off. As I say, they were better before, but if you want to get those games, if you've been wanting to get them, it's 25%. You could wait or you could get it, depends how much you want it. Alien Isolation is going for £23.99, that's about $38 in the US. Long Dark is going right now for £11.24, it's about $18 in the US. So both of those games are, good buys, good prices, so at the end of the day it's up to you whether you want to consider that, but it's a saving nonetheless. Okay, so now we get into the best of the rest, and so next, they're all over the place in timeline and style here. First up, Max Payne 1 and 2, the combo. Max Payne played a long time back. It's a really fun, really awesome, I think well-storied game. It's got a real noir style to it, and he's a wronged guy. It reminds me a little of Sin City in some respects as well, actually. But that's 75% off for Max Payne 1 and 2 bundled. It's £2.49, that's $3.95 in the US. I consider it a bit of a classic game. I think it's one to try if you've never tried it, and for that price I don't really see how you can't go for that one. Next up, this is an offer ending today. You've got to get this today or you'll miss it. 80% off Prison Architect. That's £3.99, $6.30. Really awesome game. Prison Architect. The reason I didn't include this in my must-haves, because I almost consider it to be there, is because Prison Architect is quite a specific game compared to those other ones. Prison Architect is a sort of management organization game, and those games are not for everybody, but Prison Architect is really well done. It's an indie title. I met the guys, the devs for that at EGX. They were really friendly, really great guys. But Prison Architect, yeah, it's very specific, and if you're not into those kind of games, it's probably not going to be for you. But at the same time, I would say always try new things, and you know, again, for the price tag of £3.99 for a full, really fantastic game, I think it's worth the money. 80% off. Okay, next up is Remember Me. Remember Me I've spoken about before. It's a Capcom game. It's a third-person dystopian cyberpunk game. Really awesome. 75% off, £5.74. That works at about $9 in the US. And again, I love the story. I love the environment. I love the play, the mechanics. So for me, that's a definite one to go for. Okay, next up, again, another older title, Abe's Odyssey Oddworld, and the sequel as well. Which is Abe's Exodus, I believe. So you can buy those individually all together. The price pretty much, you don't save any money really by buying them together, so you can get one, try it if you don't, and then get the next. They're £1 for both those games, and in the US it works about $1.50. They're just probably one of the most interesting platformers that I played back in the day. Quite dark in its style as well. Very, very, very challenging. So Oddworld, really, really love that game. Again, I really consider just the art style and the narrative. I just think it's one to have. I think you've got to have that there. Okay, next up, another Pixel Junk game, 75% off Pixel Junk Eden. That's £1.75, $2.50. Pixel Junk Eden is hard to describe. You're basically like a little sprite, and there's some real sort of beat music happening in the game. You have to sort of float around in this kind of like garden and collect stuff. It's a very abstract game, so again, probably not one for everybody, but if you sound intrigued by that, check it out. I find it to be a very relaxing, very sort of, but at the same time it can get quite stressful, but it's a really unique game, very, very interesting. Not much else that I've seen like it, so Pixel Junk Eden I would recommend checking out. It's one to kind of have just because it's so different. Okay, next up, a classic game, a huge favourite of mine, Riven. Riven is the sequel to Myst, made by Cyan. Really fantastic point-and-click puzzle game, one of the more difficult puzzle games you will encounter. 50% off that, it's £1.99, that's $3.15. Again, if you've never played it, if you've never tried it, I just consider it one that you really need to have. It's very challenging. It's not like anything else that you probably will have played unless you're big with point-and-click puzzles. So yeah, I would go down that route as well. Next up, 75% Fallout Game of the Year Edition, £3.74 or about $5.90. Now, pretty much everybody probably has played Fallout 3. However, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you guys who may not have played Fallout 3. And, if you want to get Fallout, if you've never played it, it's a game that you need to own. Again, the reason I didn't put this in my must-have buys is because I figure a lot of people have this game already or have played it or whatever, But if you have never played Fallout, this thing is on sale all the time anyway. But for the Game of the Year edition for £3.70, you can't go wrong at that price, so I would go with that one as well. Okay, next up, this is another one ending today. You've got to get this. I think by the time this goes up, you'll probably have about 10 hours maybe. And that is Witcher 2. And again, Witcher 2, Witcher 3 is coming up pretty soon, and Dragon Age has been out this week. So while we're still thinking about that, still in the mood, Witcher 2, £2.24. I mean, again, you cannot go wrong for that price. £2.24, or it's about $3.50 in the US. So really, really, you can't go wrong for that price. Witcher 2 ends today. If you like those kind of games, buy it immediately. Lastly, we got Verdun. Now, Verdun, of course, is the World War I FPS that I've been playing on the channel a little bit. I had some videos up there. Really enjoyed this game. Something very, very different. Plays out well, providing you can get into the games. So a single one for that, it's a 40% saving off of that. So a single code is going to cost you £10, or it's about $16 in the US. If you want to get the 4-pack, it's going to cost you £24, or about $39 in the US. Again, Verdun, kind of a different FPS, and if you're just looking for something a little bit different, bit of a challenge, then it's worth having a look at. But again, watch my videos. Go search my channel for Verdun if you haven't seen that and you really want to try that out, see what you make of it. Just a little thing to say, so I didn't translate these for euros, but basically it's very late, and going through my huge list and trying to translate it, and also at the same time reading out 3 prices for every game, I just figured. So you know, basically you get the rough idea of what these things cost. So if you're interested in any of the games, I just say go check it out for yourself. You'll soon be able to do a little search and find out what it is. So that's my list of games, guys. Obviously there is a ton of fantastic titles on Steam right now, all on sale, and you know, I couldn't cover them all, so I have selected games that I thought were particularly interesting, old and new, that were worthy of people's attention. But feel free in the comments below to drop your thoughts about what are the really good games on Steam right now. There is many. There's too many for me to mention and just rattle off and say, oh, this and this and this. There's loads of good stuff on there. So you know, just have a trawl through that list to try and find some of the things that you will suit you, or maybe look for things that are recommended that have got really positive reviews and you like the sound of but maybe haven't tried. So yeah, check it out. There's lots and lots on the sale right now. Hope this has been helpful, guys. If it has, drop a little rating, drop a little like, share. Always helps me out so much on the channel. Helps me to, you know, support me in the channel. This is Luetin, and good gaming to you.